Hey guys, this is John. I just wanted to give a quick tutorial here on what I'm calling an item separator. If you have a stream of items that you want to remove anything that cannot stack to 64, just in case you need it for any type of a machine. I haven't seen anything on YouTube like this before, so I just wanted to make a quick tutorial. So what it does, you put items in. It doesn't matter what they are. If they are anything that stacks to 64 will go in one place, and anything that is unstackable or stacks to 16 will go into a different output. Okay. So everything that stacks to 64 is going to just pass through the system, and anything that is unstackable or in stacks of 16 will get pulled down here. So this may be useful if you have any type of machine where anything that stacks to 16 will break it. Let's see, is that all we got? Yeah. So eggs, ender pearls. Excuse me. We have our cobble here, and I have two different models. So they're both pretty much the same. The only difference is that this pulls down a little bit more quickly. So in Bedrock, if you have any type of issue where you have lag, that can break some item filters if they don't pull down fast enough. And this is a quicker model than the other type. This is it's only one tick on the pull down, compared to that, which is 2 ticks. Let's see, we're done yet? Okay. So everything that stacks to 16 plus the unstackables coming down here. Anything that can stack to 64 will come here. And you're going to have no loss, nothing can get stuck anywhere. And it's all hopper speed, the throughput. So I'll get into it. I'll show you the differences between these two models. Basically, you just want to make a standard item filter. Let's see, I'm going to need some glass here. So your top hopper is going to be the throughput, so you're going to want it facing, wherever your item stream may go, or, just coming to an output for the 64 stackable items, which is going to be right here. So we'll just put a chest there. So for the rest of the item filter, you're going to need 2 other hoppers. One's going to be your locking hopper, and the last is going to be the pull down. Okay, and this is just a standard way that I make item sorters or item filters. So I use glass, and then we want to come in front of the redstone there and put a comparator. Alright, so it should look something like this. And then we can put a torch down here in the bottom. And of course it's not going to be 1 wide, but this is the 3 wide system anyway. Well, it's at least 2 wide because you're going to have an output and you're going to have a specific input. But anyway, so that is the general item sorter or item filter. And it has a 1 tick response just because we're directly powering the torch, which is directly powering the hopper. Alright, for our input, you're going to need a hopper. I mean, there's no way to avoid it. You need a hopper with a comparator for the timing. And here we're just going to put a repeater at 4 ticks. And that is going to be powering a block with a torch. Alright, so then we're just going to have a couple blocks here. The point of the torch and this line of blocks is to be able to lock the top hopper. Okay, so that's going to lock the filter hopper. The reason why is if that's not locked, then course, anything that we put through is just going to, you know, pass straight through. So you need to be locked. Alright, so next, coming off of, because we're going to use a certain amount of items in the filter to where whenever we have a signal strength of 2, that's going to activate the sorter. What we're going to do is put a repeater there. And then just build up with some blocks here to come up and meet the blocking line. Okay, so that way whenever the item is sorting, the repeater is going to be powered and it's going to send power up here to lock the top. Alright, now there is one other thing you need to do here, and you're going to need a second repeater. And this repeater will have to be at 2 ticks. So you can just put dust or, you know, block and dust there. And the purpose of that is, we'll get into it in a second. So we can go ahead and put down our input chest. And then for your filter material, you're going to need 16111, and that can be, you know, any particular item that you know, aren't going to be passing through the system, or it can be something that you rename in an anvil. You know, which you just put a whole stack of something in the anvil and just rename it filter or whatever, and that way you won't have to worry about it breaking. So the reason why we use the second repeater here, let's see. Okay, so I'll just pass through some signs. Okay, so because the sorter is going to pull down in 1 tick, it's going to flash like that. Oops. So if you didn't have the second repeater here at 2 ticks, what's going to happen is whenever you put the items in, this line up here is going to flash. And when that line flashes, it's not only going to, you know, just break everything, it's going to send a piece of paper down here at the bottom. And when that piece of paper goes down at the bottom, then everything, you know, breaks. So the point of the repeater here is to ensure that whenever the line flashes like that, it is going to stay turned on. See, because the repeater here at 2 ticks, the line is going to blink, but the repeater's still on, you know. So we're going to stay locked here, and then we can. And whenever your normal items pass through, you know, the sorter isn't active, so that's not going to be powering the line, and the items cause the comparator and repeater here to turn off the torch, which will allow the item to enter this hopper and then to pass through into the next. So obviously you can't put any items on top, you know, like directly on top of that filter, because it's not going to work. But and there's our 14 and our signs. So the second model is pretty much the same. The only difference is that you can, you know, use a repeater and a torch at the bottom, which means that if I were to remake this, then I can just remove this repeater and just put one down here. Okay, so I will just replace the piece of paper. And because the item sorter is pulling down now 1 tick behind, that's going to make it a little slower, and it's not going to be flashing like that, so you don't need the second locking repeater. Okay. But that also causes it to be a little bit slower. So in Bedrock, if you have any type of lag, that may cause an item to, you know, stack up here, or, you know, pass through or something, you don't know. So for safety's sake, I mean, you have to use 2 repeaters anyway. So for safety's sake, it might be better just to, you know, might be better just to go ahead and put the repeater here at 2 ticks. That way the sorter will operate a little more quickly. Right. And alright, so we got our signs and it unlocked. So we will get all of our items. Okay, so that's it. Pretty easy, pretty simple to make. Not too much material, but very useful if you wanted to separate non-stackables or items that stack to 16 from, every other item. Okay, that's all. Thanks.